What happens inside a black hole? Not around it, not near it, not the pretty glowing disk of matter spiraling into oblivion like cosmic latte art. Inside. Because outside, we have theories, observations, equations that behave like polite guests at a dinner party. But inside, physics stops being polite. Inside, reality starts improvising. Let's begin with something comforting. A black hole is simple. It's just a region of space where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. Nice, clean, scientific. You fall in, like this guy. You don't come out. End of story. Except, not really. Because the moment you get closer to the boundary, the event horizon, that's where things start to get weird. From the outside, if someone is watching you fall into a black hole, something strange happens. You slow down. Not metaphorically, literally. To the observer far away, you appear to freeze at the edge, like a buffering video with terrible Wi-Fi. Your movements stretch, your signals fade, your image reddens, dims, and eventually disappears. From their perspective, you never actually fall in. You just linger. Forever. Which raises a very uncomfortable question. If you never quite enter the black hole, then where exactly are you? Now let's switch perspectives, because from your point of view, you absolutely fall in. No buffering, no freezing, no dramatic pause. Like this guy has, you cross the event horizon like stepping through a doorway that doesn't look like a doorway. No flashing lights, no welcome to the void sign. Just space, and that's the first twist. The event horizon is not a wall, it's not a surface, it's not something you can touch. It's a boundary in the rules of reality, a line beyond which escape is no longer possible. And once you cross it, every possible future you have leads deeper inside. There are no paths back, not even theoretical ones. It's like being on a river where every current flows in one direction, and that direction is down. Now, here comes the part everyone loves. Spaghettification. Yes, that's a real term. And no, it's not as fun as it sounds. As you fall deeper, gravity doesn't pull you evenly. Your feet are closer to the center than your head, which means they feel a stronger pull. So you start to stretch, slowly at first, then less slowly. Your body becomes longer, thinner, more noodle-like. Congratulations, you are now cosmic pasta. Somewhere an Italian grandmother is very confused. But here's the twist. If the black hole is large enough, like the supermassive ones at the centers of galaxies, this stretching might not happen immediately. You could cross the event horizon without noticing anything unusual. No pain, no distortion, just falling. Which is somehow worse, because it means you're already trapped before anything feels wrong. Now let's talk about time, because inside a black hole, time behaves like it just got fired from its job and decided to rebel. Outside the black hole, time moves normally. Inside, the direction of time and the direction of space start to mix in ways that would make your brain file a formal complaint. In normal life, you can move left or right, forward or backward. Those are choices. But you cannot choose to move forward in time faster or slower. Time just happens. Inside a black hole, something bizarre occurs. The direction toward the center becomes like time. Not metaphorically, structurally. You cannot avoid moving toward the center any more than you can avoid moving into the future. It's not a destination anymore. It's your fate. You don't fall toward the center. You move toward it the same way you move toward tomorrow. And suddenly, going deeper is not a choice. It's inevitable. Now, let's make things slightly more disturbing. The center of a black hole is called a singularity, a point where density becomes infinite, where our equations break, where physics, as we understand it, politely excuses itself and leaves the room. What happens there, we don't know. And when scientists say, "we don't know," that's not a casual shrug. That's a deeply uncomfortable silence. Because it means our best understanding of reality stops working. Imagine playing a video game where you reach a part of the map that hasn't been rendered yet. Textures glitch, physics breaks, you fall through the floor into nothingness. Now imagine that, but it's the universe. Now, here's where theories get creative. Some physicists believe the singularity is not actually a point. They think quantum effects might prevent true infinities from forming. Instead, you might encounter something like a quantum foam or an incredibly dense, chaotic state of reality. Still not great for your survival prospects, but slightly less infinitely catastrophic. Other theories suggest something even stranger. What if black holes are not ends, but passages, tunnels, wormholes, gateways to other regions of space-time, other universes, other realities? Yes, we have now entered the part of the story where things sound like science fiction. But here's the uncomfortable part. Some of these ideas come from real equations. They're not proven, they're not confirmed, but they are possible in certain models, which means there is a version of reality where falling into a black hole does not destroy you, but transports you somewhere else. Of course, there's a small catch. To survive that journey, you would need conditions so precise, so stable, so perfectly tuned that the universe would basically need to cooperate with you. And let's be honest, the universe is not known for its customer service. Now let's talk about information, because this is where things get truly bizarre. According to quantum physics, information cannot be destroyed. Not really. It can be scrambled, spread out, hidden, but not erased. Black holes, however, seem to do exactly that. They swallow information, objects, particles, entire stars, and from the outside it looks like everything that falls in is gone. Which leads to one of the biggest mysteries in physics, the black hole information paradox. Where does the information go? Is it destroyed? Is it stored somehow on the surface? Encoded in subtle ways? Leaked back out through something called Hawking radiation? Yes, black holes are not entirely black. They slowly emit radiation. They evaporate over incredibly long timescales, trillions of years, longer than you probably planned to wait. But still, they are not eternal, which means everything that falls in might, in some form, come back out. Not as recognizable objects, not as neatly labeled memories, but as information, scrambled beyond recognition. Like taking a book, burning it, and then trying to reconstruct the story from the smoke. Good luck with that. Now let's add a slightly existential twist. If information is never truly lost, then in some abstract sense, everything that has ever fallen into a black hole still exists, somewhere, in some form, which means that inside black holes, there might be the remnants of entire stars, planets, possibly even civilizations, compressed, encoded, unrecognizable, but not entirely gone. Now imagine that, a place where everything is mixed together, not just matter, but history, stories, moments, all blended into something we cannot decode. If that doesn't make you slightly uncomfortable, you're either very calm or not paying attention. Now, let's go even further. What if the inside of a black hole is not just a chaotic mess, but something structured? Some theories suggest that space and time might flip roles inside. Others propose that new universes could form inside black holes, baby universes, detached from our own, expanding, evolving, completely inaccessible. If that's true, then every black hole could be the beginning of a new universe, which leads to a slightly mind-bending possibility. What if our universe is inside a black hole? Take a moment, let that sink in, because if that's the case, then the boundary we call the event horizon might be the edge of our observable universe, and the singularity might be something we can never reach, because it's not in front of us, it's behind our existence. Now, is this proven? No. Is it widely accepted? Also, no. Is it fascinating? Absolutely. Now let's bring it back to you, because after all this cosmic chaos, you and me and even this guy are still here, and that's the strangest part of all. In a universe with black holes, regions where reality bends, breaks, and possibly reinvents itself, we exist in a place where things are stable enough for consciousness, for awareness, for curiosity, which means one of two things. Either we got incredibly lucky, or the universe has more structure, more balance than we currently understand. Now let's lighten the mood slightly. If you ever fall into a black hole, which, statistically speaking, is not on your schedule today, there is some good news. From your perspective, your journey would be relatively quick. No endless suffering, no eternal falling, just a finite path to whatever comes next. Of course, whatever comes next is doing a lot of work in that sentence. But still, silver linings. Now let's end with something important. We don't know what happens inside a black hole. Not really. We have models, theories, mathematics that points us in certain directions. But the truth? The actual experience, the reality behind the equations, that remains hidden, beyond the horizon. And maybe that's the point. Because the universe is not just a collection of answers. It's a generator of questions, endless, layered, unfinished. Black holes are not just objects, they are reminders that there are limits to what we know, boundaries to our understanding, horizons we cannot cross, at least not yet. But every mystery we encounter expands our curiosity. Every unanswered question pushes us further. And maybe that's what matters most. Not having all the answers, but continuing to explore, to imagine, to ask. Because reality is far more complex, far more strange, and far more beautiful than any single explanation can capture. So the next time you look up at the night sky and you see a region of darkness where something should be, remember that darkness is not empty. It's a doorway, not necessarily one you want to walk through, but one that reminds you how much there is left to discover. And if you think black holes are the strangest thing out there, just wait. What we explore next will go even deeper. Stay curious, stay aware, and remember, the universe still has secrets, and some of them are staring right back at you.